Texas. They say everything's bigger here, and they're right. We've got big cars, big hearts, and a big sky. This is big sky country. Yeah, we know that's what Montana calls itself, big sky country. We'd just like to point out that Montana is 147,000 odd miles big. Texas, well, we're 268,500 miles huge. Who's got the bigger sky now, Montana? Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. Yeehaw.
Fort Hood's Big Podcast.
Yes, it's begun again.
Whoop.
We're like a bad penny, only we're good, so we're like a good penny.
Yes, and we are not at a national shortage.
No. So, well, I have some news.
Okay.
We have big news for the podcast. Changes.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, some people might have noticed. Change number 1. I feel like we should have some effect for this.
Okay.
Oh, that's not it. Change number 1. And
Ooh, that's ominous. I like it.
It is, but
yeah,
I'm looking for
like,
a bum, 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 bum. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say change number 1, and then you got to give me some sort of oral fanfare.
Okay.
All right. Change number 1.
Whoop, whoop.
Well, that was some kind of oral fanfare. Change number 1 is that we have a Facebook page, the Great Big Podcast Facebook page, and that is going away.
What?
Yeah. It's actually going to transform to the what was called the Fort Hood Broadcast Operations page. We are moving.
Oh, my goodness.
To
you
that.
didn't even tell me this.
Yeah, well, I just told you.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So that is happening.
Oh.
That will happen on the 1st of next month. So August 1st, the old Fort Hood Great Big Podcast Facebook page is going away, and all our stuff will be on the Fort Hood Broadcast page. You'll see, if you go there now, you'll already see our logo, everything. It looks
Okay, so the name's not changing.
similar. No,
Okay.
we're not changing the name of the podcast or anything like that. It's just
Okay.
where we post on
The domain.
Facebook
Okay.
is changing. So that is change number 1. Change number 2.
Woo.
is I'm leaving.
No.
That's a pretty big change, isn't it?
It's like the most monumental.
Well,
You're like the glue that holds us all together.
no.
Charlie.
I'm just one part of 3.
You're the crazy.
Remember
glue.
what happened when I was by myself, and
That's still one of my favorite cold openings. I'm not just saying that. Like, I truly, truly love that opening.
that is officially like the lowest rated modern version of our podcast.
I don't think so.
Nobody, honest to gosh, no one listens to that.
No,
what
the
is it?
analytics for another episode were lower than
Picnic
that.
tables for squirrels and the roller skating chaplains.
Oh yeah, that one was pretty low.
That was the
That was
one.
okay, you're
That
right.
was the
you're
one.
right.
Nobody wanted to hear me talk to myself.
You scared
So,
them all away.
Actually, I have a theory. Anytime we mention religion in the title of a podcast thing, like roller skating chaplain,
yeah,
people don't tune in because they think we're going to be preachy.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't the opening.
No, I don't
It
think it
was-
was actually. I
yeah,
don't think
yeah.
people even gave it that much.
Yeah, I can see how that would affect the numbers.
Yeah, so we're going to have to sneak religion in on people. Now, and the
Won't see
other,
it coming.
the third big change
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was,
You were
I was
drinking.
drinking.
You were taking a drink. I need my fanfare. The third big change.
Do 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 do. Yeah.
I'm loving it. The third big change is we're going to have a whole new podcast crew.
Oh my
But
goodness.
not all new because you'll still be with us.
Okay, I'll be.
But
that.
I won't because I'm not going to
No.
be here.
Yeah.
And Dave, who's not here now because he's under the weather,
Yeah.
but he will not be a regular on the show either. We'll have a new, fresher, hipper. I feel like I'm introducing Poochie from The Simpsons. A podcast crew. So,
wow.
yeah,
That's a
changes.
lot of changes.
It is, but they'll all be for the best.
I don't know.
All be for the best.
We're gonna miss you guys.
Well, we still got time.
That's true.
We still got.
We have to cherish the moments now, even more so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So exciting stuff on the horizon.
I don't think that's exciting, but
You think that's exciting? Just wait. In a few moments, we got to take a break, and then we're gonna be on the phone with Steve Draper, the guy that you thought you infected with coronavirus.
yes.
When we all got quarantined, and
Yeah.
they got the new information on the Mounted Cavalry War Museum.
That's great.
So we'll have that right after this.
Here he is, Jeff Snarkworthy.
Thank you, yeah. If you've got a sudden, unexpected fever, you might have coronavirus. If you've traveled from or through a state where coronavirus is prevalent, you might have coronavirus. If that fever of yours, if it's accompanied by a feeling of shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, you might have coronavirus.
Coronavirus is steadily spreading across not only the United States, but the world. Being aware of the signs and symptoms of coronavirus helps keep us all safe. If you suspect that you may have been infected with the virus, call 254-553-6612. That's the Fort Hood Health Hotline, 254-553-6612.
If you've been around some place where people were infected, if you got that fever, shortness of breath, and a cough, you might have coronavirus.
Coronavirus. It's no laughing matter.
Hello? It's what your tax dollars sound like. Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast.
All right, so what we're going to do, I don't know if you've heard, Brianna, though we were just discussing it off air, that there's going to be a new museum. We discussed
Yes.
it on the show.
We did a couple weeks ago.
And now it's like finalized. Boom,
Yay.
official. There's going to be money. It's good to go. The government, the military is giving the thumbs up. So we're just going to give you a real quick update on that. Before we had Steve Draper on, so I've got two people here to talk to. I've got Steve Draper, who is the director of the 1st Cavalry Division and 3rd Cavalry Regiment Museums.
Okay.
And then we'll talk to Bob Crouch, Vice President of the National Mounted Warfare Foundation.
Whoa.
All right. So, yeah, I know.
That sounds like super official
I want
and
that
nice.
title.
Yeah.
I want that title. So let's try Steve Draper first. Give Steve a call. There we go. Calling Steve.
Hello,
Steve.
that's Bob.
Bob, is Steve there? This is Charlie Mabe from Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast.
Charlie, he's not on this line. He probably needs to dial in from a separate line.
Oh, okay. Wow, this is getting technical. Okay, so
Do you want me to put you on hold and dial him in?
could you have him call me, please? He's got my cell phone.
Okay.
Have
Okay,
him
I'll put
call
you on
me.
hold just a second.
All right. This is exciting.
Yeah, he answered really quick,
He did.
really fast, really
He
quickly.
did. That was not just.
You want to hit?
Yes.
Wait a minute, let me see how I need to do this.
Okay. Well, he can just call my number. You don't have to transfer. He can just call my cell phone.
Okay, let me just text him.
Okay. Because he called me from this number earlier, you see.
No, that was me.
Oh, was that you? I have no idea
Charlie.
what is happening. I am on top of things, as always. As always.
Let's see here. I sent him a text.
All right.
If that doesn't work, I'll try and patch him in through my phone.
All right. Can you give us a call in about 2 minutes? Give me a call on
Okay.
my cell phone. All right.
2 minutes, so 10:45.
Is that? Yes, that is correct.
Okay, can do.
All right. Awesome.
Thanks.
Now everyone has your number.
No. I edited that out.
Okay.
People don't even know, but it's been edited. All right.
Okay.
So let's call Steve because that was Bob.
Yeah.
You know what helps? If you put the names in your phone book and it's not just a bunch of numbers.
50% of the time.
I'm right,
Right,
50%.
50% of the
And that was on the losing half. So I want to hit the number I didn't just call.
You're just keeping the balance in the universe.
I'm
because we know.
confused as about which number I'm calling at this point. You know, this makes for fascinating radio.
I'm confused for you.
I'm it says I called a number and then another number like a minute later.
That's so weird.
I
You
know.
must have. You must have.
Oh, I
accidentally-
did. I did just call twice. So it's this one. This is Steve.
Modern technology.
This is Steve. We've figured out Steve.
Charlie, this is Bob again.
Ah, Bob. I thought I was calling Steve.
Is it wrong on your phone?
Maybe it is.
Yeah,
Maybe I
think it
have it
is.
backwards
Let
in
me
my
see.
phone.
Steve's number is
So I'll be hearing from you in about a minute, and let me
Yes, sir.
let me call him.
okay.
All
Sure
right.
will.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Oh man,
All right, third time's the charm.
you're on
Isn't
the
that
struggle
what they
bus
say?
today.
This is going
That's
to
what
be
happens when you go on vacation.
classic.
You just brain
episode.
dump.
I've already forgotten the number that he's given me.
I have too, actually.
I don't
I didn't
see
write
this.
it down. I should have written it down.
I don't see this in my. He's called me today. Maybe he didn't.
Maybe there's a glitch in the matrix.
Maybe only Bob called me today. And I thought I was talking to Steve part of the time and then Bob part of the time. And Bob's too nice of a guy to say, no, my name's not Steve. This is Bob.
Yikes.
It's possible. It's been a busy day.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
been.
I
it's
know
been
you're
nuts.
a busy little bee
I am.
running around, especially
am.
with all the news going on.
I am. You know what? We'll just wait for Bob to call back, even though we've had him on the phone twice now.
Oh my goodness.
And there he is.
Okay,
there he is,
here we
Bob.
go.
There's Bob. Hello, Bob. Is that you?
Charlie, this is Steve.
Oh, it's Steve. This is great. Hey, Steve. How's it going?
Good.
We've been making too many phone calls, calling too many wrong numbers.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, Steve, you're on the show with Brianna and myself. Bob will call in shortly, and then we will merge the call, hopefully, if technology works with us. So that museum that we talked about not so long ago is it's going to happen.
Yes, sir, it is.
How does that feel?
I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled.
That's great.
Bob sent me a text. Hang on here. We're not online yet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Call Charlie on his cell phone.
Yep, that was part of the adventure that got us
Okay,
to this
but-
point. So we're already, disregard that because we're already
Okay. All right.
connected.
Let me do one quick thing. I'm going to close my door.
Okay. Excitement of live radio. How's your day going, Brianna?
It's been pretty good so far. I had to reschedule.
So is it better to do, or I've got it on speakerphone. Is that better? Do you want
No,
it?
you're fine. You're fine. Here's Bob calling in. We are going to merge. Bob, are you there? Wait, there's another thing that says merge. Merge. Bob, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Steve, are you
present.
there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right,
Yay!
everybody's here. We did it. Yay, where's the button? Nope, that's not it.
No.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, the crowd goes wild. The crowd goes wild. Well, it's great to have you both with us today. Once again, in case you've gotten lost in the kerfluffle with us, we have Steve Draper, who is the director of the 1st Cavalry and 3rd Cavalry Regimental Museums. And then we have Bob Crouch, who's the vice president of the National Mounted Warfare Foundation.
Yes, sir.
So now that you're both with us, tell us about this great new museum that will be going up somewhere close to where the Horse Cavalry Detachment is.
Okay, Steve, do you want me to take this or do you want to take it?
Go ahead, Bob.
Well, so the National Mounted Warrior Museum has been a project that's been in the works for many years by our foundation in particular since 2011.
Wow.
And it's gone through several iterations to get us where we are today. We are at the point, however, where we have the approval from the Secretary of the Army to break ground and begin construction.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're looking to do that hopefully sometime between mid to the end of September. And this museum will tell the stories of in the history of mounted combat in the United States Army since the Revolutionary War until today. And it will also tell the story of Fort Hood and the units that serve on Fort Hood. So it'll be a unique a museum in the Army's inventory because there isn't really one that tells the full story of combined arms, the way we fight in the American Army.
Well, that's amazing. And so how many, now that we've gotten the thumbs up from the big dogs, how long is it going to take to put this whole thing together? When is it going to be ready for people to walk in and take it all in?
Well, assuming we're able to break ground as planned, which now that we have the approval shouldn't be an issue, we should be able to open the doors to the public in late 2022 or early 23.
Wow, that's pretty fast. That's pretty darn fast. Yeah. That's awesome. And you've already got the land squared away. Is that correct? That's already done?
That's correct. The Army is allowing us to build the museum outside the front gate of Fort Hood in between Marvin Lee Visitor Center and the 1st Cavs Horse Cavalry Detachment.
Cool.
And so we have the land accounted for. The Army is also coming in and doing a couple other things. They are funding the design, fabrication, and installation of the exhibits for the museum.
Wow.
And then once the museum is built and the doors are open, the Army will assume responsibility for the operations, day-to-day operations, the maintenance, the security, and the staffing of the museum.
Cool.
The two museums currently on post will consolidate into this museum, so there'll be just one museum on Fort Hood.
Because I know when you go to the 1st Cav Museum now, you'll run into soldiers that are working there. So will soldiers work at the new one?
Yeah, yes, they will. We will have a detail of soldiers from the post, as we call them, Bard Military Manpower.
Mm-hmm.
They will be working at the museum in various duties. We're not going to have the landscaping the same way as we have at the present two museums.
Okay.
Landscaping is going to be more of what we call xeriscape. So there'll be less of that kind of work to do, but they'll still certainly have a presence there. And they'll be augmenting volunteers and, of course, Foundation employees and Army employees.
Well, that makes it just that much more authentic, isn't it? You go to an Army museum and hey, the Army's there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really
cool.
Well,
absolutely it does. And you know, we've got the, not only do we have the soldiers working that will be assisting in the operation of the museum, But having the horse cavalry detachment so close to, virtually at our back door is a wonderful thing, because it's an opportunity for our visitors to the museum to go and observe the horse cav as they rehearse, and hopefully have the opportunity to do some tours within the stable area, and definitely get to meet some soldiers there as well.
That's cool. I always like it when a spotlight can be shined on the horse cavalry detachment. I have a soft spot in my heart for them from when I was in the first cav, and it's interesting that your museum and what it's going to be talking about mounted warfare, and the cavalry is, of course, the beginning of mounted warfare, because they're mounted on mounts. So it's like old and new, meeting just right there in the same space. Now, a majority of the original funding for this was donated. Is that correct?
That's correct. All of the funding for the museum building itself, and just to make certain that we're clear on that, the foundation's responsibility is to plan for, design, and build the museum building.
Okay.
And as part of that, we had to raise funds for it. So all of the funding for the building itself and the grounds has come from private contributions.
Well, very good. And it didn't take you that long to get there. This is something that I think that people really want to see happen.
Well, thank you for that, Charlie. I would, when you say a day in the life of this project, it seems like, it's been 9.5, nearly 10 years now since we started this effort on the National Mounted Warrior Museum project, which seems like a lifetime to many. But in the grand scheme of things, when you look at comparable projects, they're usually 18 to 20 years in before they get to the point where they have everything aligned to go ahead and break ground and start construction on the museum. So we are, even though to us sometimes it seems like, we've been at this forever, and when you look at the big picture, we're really well ahead of the game, and that's very exciting.
Well, no, you've done well. What is it? Around 11 million? Is that what you brought in ish?
Correct.
So
correct. For phase one, yes.
Yeah. So over 10 years, 11 million. I know in the last 10 years, I've made some money myself, and I have approximately $1.62 left over from that. So you guys have done really, really well. I wish I could say
we're a
the same.
nonprofit, so I've got less than $1.62.
Well, that's great. Hey, if people want to continue to help out with the museum, is there any way that they can assist between now and when it opens?
Oh, absolutely. And there's an opportunity to assist forever with this. As I mentioned, what we're focused on right now is, and we've raised the funds for to this point, is phase one, which is everything we need to do to get the doors open to the public. So it's your parking space, which, by the way, will be shared. We're going to expand the parking at the visitor center, that will be a shared space. The entry plaza, the atrium, about 13,000 square feet of permanent exhibit space, about 6,000 to 7,000 square feet of temporary exhibit space. So basically everything we need, again, to host a visitor to see the exhibits. We do have future phases planned, and some of those include an expansion by about 11,000 feet of permanent exhibit space. We have plans to build two classroom sets so that we have an opportunity to hold conferences and symposiums and other events in the facility. We have plans to build office spaces for both the foundation and the museum staff, so that particularly the museum staff, since they need to be there to operate it.
Sure.
And so we do have future funding requirements. So yes, the listeners to this podcast can certainly help out in terms of that matter. And the way to do that, there's a couple programs that we have. First, if you just want to do an outright donation, you can visit our website at www.nwfoundation.org and click on the donate button, and that'll take the visitor to a donate page, and you can specify how you'd like to support us financially. The other option is if you go to our website and look, there's also an option to buy a commemorative brick.
Okay.
We offer, for $100, we offer a 4x8 brick, which will hold 4 lines of text. And for
that's cool.
$200, we offer an 8x8 brick, which will offer or hold 6 lines of text. And these bricks will be placed in the entry plaza to the museum, which is currently being named Valor Plaza, to honor the valor and honor and integrity of those who have served. And what I would share is that those bricks are not just limited to soldiers or former soldiers. We'll accept bricks from someone who has served in any branch of the armed services, from your first responders of any kind, from family members, or from members of the community who just want to honor a loved one. So you don't have to have a specific tie to the community or to the military to get your name or your loved one recognized and memorialized on a brick.
Well, that is a great thing to do. I'll probably end up doing one of those.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
We could get a podcast brick.
Yeah, you should.
I would totally chip in for that.
No, we should.
Yeah,
we should
love
do
that.
Well, hey, I want to thank both of you for being on the show with us and putting up with our 4 o'clock follies with the phones. It's been great talking to you, and we look forward to further updates as we progress along with the museums, and hopefully we can be out there when the museum opens and do a live broadcast during those festivities as well.
That would be awesome.
All right.
Yep, we'd love to have you up. We're hoping, to have a groundbreaking here soon, and also too. Let me just reiterate too, is we're always looking for artifacts, especially to tell the Fort Hood story. So if you have something that might be of our interest, contact either the museums, and they will talk with you with it.
Right. You heard that. If you got anything interesting out there that's Fort Hood related,
Yes.
contact the museums, and it might end up in a museum.
How cool is that?
Yeah, very cool. All right. Well, we will be right back with some exciting talk about summer, because everybody loves talking about summer, the heat.
Ugh.
Are you loving the heat? You loving it?
I am, but hating it at the same time.
Yeah, well, I'm just hating it. But we'll have more of that right after this.
If you've got problems and feel like you just can't get answers, there's a place for you to turn. The Inspector General's Hotline. They take your issues seriously. If you're at the end of your rope and need someone to reach out to, grab a pen and take down this number. 254-287-7209. That's 254-287-7209. The Fort Hood office of the Inspector General. They inspect generals so you don't have to.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So, Brianna,
Yes.
what have you been thinking about the temperature recently?
I love it and hate it at the same time. Because I'm
Blame.
tropical, so I love the heat.
I'm tropical.
Yeah.
When we were in Roswell, New Mexico, I remember I felt like I was leaving at a good time, my vacation, because I looked and I'm like, oh, tomorrow's going to be 107.
Yes.
I got to escape from that. Back to Texas. That never happens.
Yeah.
And then here we are.
Yeah. Can't escape it.
No, it's been oppressive, but really, and what they say is true. It's not the heat, it's the humidity.
Yes.
My
it is.
wife has been complaining about the humidity.
I'm sure she has.
And what's funny is I've been looking, Facebook reminds you of your past mistakes daily.
It loves to do that.
On it. And I've been noticing stuff that I posted in Japan, and I'd say, hey, good morning, Japan, 83% humidity. Good morning, Japan, 95% humidity. And going, wait, it was more humid where we came from. What are you griping about?
But not as hot.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's the combination.
That is true. Well, this time of year in the summer, people's fancy often turns to getting the heck out of Dodge because of school being out, although 2020 has been a special year thanks to our dear friend coronavirus.
Yes.
So that makes getting out much more difficult than it has been in the past, and your choice of where you want to go and what you want to do. When my wife and I went on our vacation, I did not expect to see a lot of people when we went out through Colorado, Utah, Arizona for a hot second, and New Mexico. But oh my gosh, so many people at the national park, Arches National Park in Utah. I was shocked.
Yeah.
And staying at hotels, they were packed. So people are getting out, but people are, wearing masks. Each town that we went into had a digital sign letting you know what you had to do with a mask.
That's interesting.
So that you weren't getting in trouble and causing. I was just imagining the signs. One of them was like, "Just go home. Don't stop. Go home." So, I mean, people have strong feelings about it. But here in Central Texas, if you've got kids, maybe you don't have time to get away. There's a lot of places to go to that are relatively close that you could make a day trip or weekend outing for. You don't have to make the long thing, and you can play it safe. Right now, we have with us from the Fort Hood Sentinel, Blair Dupree, who is are you still sports? Because it doesn't exist anymore.
That's true. But yeah, I am.
All right, the sports editor. And Jacob Caldwell, the newest member of the Fort Hood Sentinel staff. Everybody give him an applause. This is your first week.
Debut.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is your first week. Formerly of the 1st Cavalry Division, right?
Wow.
First team.
Yes, first team.
There you go.
The legend.
Now, you're the living?
I'm the living editor, correct.
All right, that's fantastic. He's the new living editor, so look forward to seeing his stuff in the paper. And he is an expert on getting out and going, or you will be.
I will be.
Not yet.
You will be.
I actually look forward to it because I need to know.
Well, and you know what? When you're communicating to people places to go and things to do, it's great to not know, because then you get that authentic,
a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah, that authentic experience of whether a place is worthy of visiting or not. So I got to ask you, if I had a free weekend this weekend, and I don't, but if I did, Blair, hit me up with a spot. Where should I go and why should I go there?
Oh gosh, it depends on what you want to do. Like, do you want to walk around outside?
I don't want to get coronavirus, is what I.
Okay.
I don't want to get coronavirus.
Well, there's a lot of options for people that like to, go outdoors and hike and all that. I know specifically in Belton, there's Chalk Ridge Falls is a really popular spot, especially when the.
Yeah, I've been there several times. It's below Steelhouse Hollow Lake. There's a park below the dam.
Yeah.
Really?
Called Chalk Ridge Falls. You drive over the dam, and then
it's
from Colleen, you take a left down, underneath it. There's a park underneath the dam.
That's cool.
And it's very, first of all, it's shady. It's lots of trees.
That's important this time of year.
And there's the river runs down there, but there's also, if you hike back in there a little bit, there's a swimming hole.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Oh, the push-up video where I was by the waterfall?
I do remember that.
That's where it is.
Oh, okay. How was? Did you finish those push-ups?
I did, yes.
Hey,
finally.
Congratulations.
It took longer than the allotted days because I had to keep taking breaks. But yes, I did finish it.
So how many total push-ups were those?
So it was 22 times 22.
That's 44, isn't it?
No.
So funny.
I'm not good at math at the top of my head.
But Brianna was doing push-ups to raise awareness for veterans suicide.
Yes.
So, she's got the...
Isn't that like something
484?
Yeah.
484.
Yes.
Well, if you don't do better on your next PT test, you got no excuses.
I know, right? I actually am due to do another one soon. So
well, good
see.
luck to you.
Thank you.
So,
Chalk Ridge Falls.
Chalk Ridge Falls
Yes.
was a place. Brianna, I know you like to get out and about.
I
do. You have
do.
any? And you're a Texan.
I am.
So,
yeah.
Give us the inside scoop.
Well, like you mentioned, Chalk Ridge is really great.
Right, we already used that.
Oh, sorry.
Your scoop can't be
okay.
the
I
one.
really like going to Miller Springs Nature Center.
Miller Springs Nature Center?
Yes.
Where is that?
It's near the Belton Dam.
Okay.
So there's a north entrance.
All of these involve dams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's actually very similar to Chalk Ridge, the layout, because it's at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
When you look up, there's like the overhang of the dam. But in that little like grove down there, there's so many different trails. It's also there's a lot of trees, so there's a lot of cover. There is one section where you're just out in the open, and when you drive over the bridge to the dam, you can see like that wide open space. So if you can actually avoid going in there, and you can just stay near the tree line and the water, and yeah, it's really great. I like using the south entrance because less people go there, because the north entrance is more, there's like restrooms.
They used to.
Well, yeah, right. There's more restrooms. It's more kid friendly. The trails are a little more defined and maintained than the south side, but they both you can meet in the middle on both sides. So that's my favorite.
So it's a hiking, relaxing, communing with nature.
Yeah, so people also ride bikes and stuff.
Oh, that's nice. So the trails must be.
They're pretty long.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's very nice. Hey, and I want to remind everybody, we are in the middle of tick season right now. And while we're being distracted by coronavirus, the ticks are making their play to give us all Lyme disease. So if you can remember to spray yourself with some insect repellent while you're out there.
Yes.
Let's put these ticks
and
back.
Hydrate.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, I use Deep Woods Off.
Mm-hmm.
I spray that like a teenager sprays that Axe body spray. that is the scent of summer in my house.
Yeah, there's nothing like the smell of off. And what's funny is, as a kid, I used it enough that if I say off, I immediately know what it tastes like.
Yeah,
Ew.
I still do. I
Yeah.
probably have some on me right now.
Well, we're still around, so I don't know how effective it is. So do you have any... ideas?
Both of those
where
are
to go
great.
out?
Chalk Ridge Falls below Stillhouse Hollow Lake and Miller Springs below Belton Lake. Those are both great. I'm going those, and they're very close. So I mean, you can be there in 15 or 20 minutes from Colleen or Fort Hood. So those are great options. I'm going to spend the next several weeks exploring just a tiny bit farther away from Fort Hood. I'm going to be going to Colorado Bend State Park. Which is just on the other side of Lampasas.
I was at their entrance once. I drove all the way to the little entry shack, and then there's a sign that said, "Park over capacity. Please wait." And I waited for 10 minutes and then drove away.
Good point. And as I write about them, I will inform people that some of these parks are very popular, and you need to go online and get a day pass and actually make a reservation for a lot of them. And as I write about them, I'll let folks know about that.
Nice.
I'm going to go to Mother Neff State Park, which is kind of in between Temple and Gatesville.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
I've been there.
That's a nice spot. I've actually been to that one. The Colorado Bend I've never been to before. I'm going to go to Inks Lake State Park, which I know I think you've been down there. Inks Lake is closer to Marble Falls. It's not quite that far away, but it's kind of down that direction. And also Longhorn Cavern State Park.
That is a beautiful park. Absolutely gorgeous.
And Blue Hole Regional Park. Wow. Most of those are all Texas state parks. And I just kind of went, as I planned out the next several weeks, I kind of had the idea in mind that outside is the best side, right? Because we're all tired of being cooped up in our houses. There's not a whole lot of indoor stuff that's open right now. So I wanted to find things that were good to do outside, and I kind of like to find places that are close to either have lots of shade, one, or two, have a body of water, because it is even though you're outside. Okay, it's 100 degrees outside, so you might want to be near a body of water so you can cool off.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Longhorn Cavern State Park is a great option for those that want to get out of the sun, being that it's revolves around a cavern.
A cavern, right.
That you can go into, and it's one of those, it keeps the same temperature. It's like mid-50s or something.
That's nice.
All year round, and it's I've been down there. It's a good time. It's fun to see. And I know actually there's 2 tours of it. I don't know if you know this. There's the regular tour that normal people take. If you're adventurous, though, you can show up earlier, and they've got more of a spelunking tour, and they'll take you back to a lake that most people don't usually get to see, and there's like blind fish in there that are protected, and it's pretty cool.
That sounds awesome.
I might have to go twice.
Yeah.
I intend to take my 5-year-old grandson with me the first
Oh
time,
my
so I'll probably take
gosh.
the easier tour.
He's going to love it.
Yeah.
He's going to absolutely love it.
Yeah, I also really like Dana Peak.
Well, who is that?
That's another park.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where
it's
is
really
Dana
close.
Peak?
It's in Harker Heights.
Really?
It's like
That's
really
super close.
Yeah.
That's super close.
And some of the trails are super, also there are a lot of trees.
You know, we've been mentioning trails, and that just jogged my memory, speaking of jogging and trails, an issue that we had this year with coronavirus spiking, which we may see again now that coronavirus is raising up, and that is that the gyms closed on Fort Hood, and there was a large hue and cry, open the gyms, open the gyms, open the gyms. And of course we couldn't because of safety. If we see coronavirus continue to grow, there is a chance that we could be in that same situation.
Right.
If that happens, think of all the trails that are around us.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a gym to stay physically fit. You can go out running on trails, doing push-ups, sit-ups.
Resistance type
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, you can keep yourself in good physical shape by going out and having fun.
Yeah, I don't know why. I feel like soldiers seem to be like married to the idea of I need a gym to
I think
like
having been on the fitness truck and then having fallen so very hard off of it, I do know that once you get into a routine, and I think you could agree with me, everybody here.
I think that's a huge part of it.
That
I don't like my routine to be interrupted.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I was bad enough that if I was in the middle of my routine and something interrupted it could be somebody with loud music or anything, and it irritated me, I just had to stop. I could not deviate from that routine.
Yeah.
So how flexible and resilient we all are. One of the places that I love in Texas, and this is not close by any means, but that is Big Bend State Park. And I think if anybody...
Oh, Big Bend is a national park.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say state?
Yeah.
I meant national.
That's a national park. And I haven't made a trip down there yet. I want to.
Yeah, me too.
I'm intentionally for the moment keeping it close.
Oh, and you should.
Yeah.
You should.
Well, that's what
But
people
yeah,
will
I'm
go
going to
to.
head down there.
No,
eventually.
Big Bend. I saw so many animals when I was down there, and it's just so breathtaking. The little communities that are around it are so welcoming, although I don't know, nobody had
How
coronavirus.
crowded was
at
it
that
when
time.
you went there? Because it's far enough away from everything. It shouldn't be too terribly crowded.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
But I went when the government was shut down. So there wasn't anybody taking money when you came in. There was no toilet paper.
Yep.
It was every man for himself once you went in there. But it was absolutely lovely. It was
worth
gorgeous.
mentioning the Chalk Ridge Falls and Miller Springs and most of the state facilities on Stillhouse and Belton Lake. They do normally charge $1 or $2 for entry, and they're not right now. They're not charging for entry right now. Also, if you have a military ID, you can get in for free anyway.
Well, hey, there you go.
I have to take a call. I'll be right back.
All
But you
right.
guys continue.
All right. Enjoy your call. Thanks. You never know what's going to happen. You want me to turn your mouth? Okay, she's just physically leaving. Physically leaving. Okay.
Well, when the first sergeant calls, you got to answer the phone.
Absolutely.
So it's
Absolutely. You know,
understandable.
I was in so long ago that there was no first sergeant calling me. It was on, landline.
Oh, yeah.
That was
People actually had to plan ahead or just wait until they saw you at
Oh,
formation.
absolutely. Yeah, you had to yell at somebody over there.
Send a
you!
Send a runner.
Yep. But there's so much people, I think, forget Texas. They think Austin. They think San Antonio, Dallas. I'm going to do something. I got to go to the city. But Texas has so much available as far as natural beauty and parks, and it's such a large state. So there's so much of it. I mean, the pecan country out west of here, sometimes I just like going through a nice Sunday drive through the pecan fields.
Yeah.
And looking at that. You grew up near here, Blair. You didn't? Well, in Texas, it's
I
a
grew up in
state.
Texas, yes.
In the state.
Yes.
So you grew up in
You
Texas.
grew up nearer to here than I did.
Yeah, I was in Kansas.
Okay. Yeah.
So are there any places that you hold near and dear to your heart? Doesn't have to be close to Fort Hood, but that you went as a kid?
Back home in Orange, Texas, that's 5 hours from here, just to put that in perspective.
Practically Louisiana.
Yeah, right. Actually, it's literally the last city before you're in Louisiana on Interstate 10.
All right.
But there's a nature reserve called Shangri-La. And when I was in elementary school, I couldn't count how many times they took us there on field trips. They do educational stuff for kids.
Sure.
Sciencey stuff. And they have a swamp tour, so they take you out.
Oh, so cool.
They take you out on Adams Bayou and show you the different kinds of like plant life out there and the wildlife and all that. I did travel down there right before everything got nuts with COVID-19 to do a traveling soldier on it, but that kind of just fell through. I still have it on hold, but yeah, we went back in February and we saw it wasn't a big alligator, like a 3-foot alligator, and some cranes and stuff like that. But
I've never seen an alligator.
Really?
Really?
Not out in the wild.
I seem to think I have, but maybe I haven't.
Yeah. Where my dad...
I've seen a caiman.
I've eaten one.
A caiman or an alligator?
No, an alligator.
I've had crocodile.
Yeah.
I've had crocodile.
My dad is Cajun, so he's had turtle, frogs, alligator, the whole cow tongue,
Sure.
whole 9 yards. But where he works is actually their break room. You can walk out onto this kind of deck, and you can look out onto Adams Bayou. And I've seen, alligator gar swimming in the water.
Sure.
And the owner of the company, there used to be this 9-foot alligator that lived out there, and the owner of the company would throw him whole chickens and feed the alligator off the deck.
Oh, fun for the alligator, not for the chicken. The when I was a kid, that's so cool because when I was a kid in Kansas, they'd take you to Pawnee Prairie Nature Park and be like, "This is a prairie. You can see the grass. Here's a butterfly."
Yeah.
That's what we got in Kansas. There used to be buffalo here, but there's not any anymore.
Yeah.
Who's got questions? That's growing up in Kansas.
Yeah, they I remember I used to be really into science when I was younger, and then I kind of just grew out of it. But they would let you take samples of the swamp water, and you'd look at it under a microscope, and you'd see things moving around.
You probably see all kinds of things moving around.
Oh yeah. So and then you get a reward if you found the coolest thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Or whatever. But yeah, Shangri-La is pretty cool.
Hey, welcome back, Brianna. How'd that telephone call go?
Are you in trouble?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That would have been more entertaining.
Can't really get into it, but
oh, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm
that's
sorry.
Fine. Where did you grow up, Jacob?
Well, I was a military brat, but many of my formative years were spent in Missouri.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
It's just right next to Kansas.
Yep.
Kansas
Southern
is
Missouri.
to everything.
So we actually had hills and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
In the Ozark Mountains.
Oh, my grandparents lived in the Ozarks for quite a long time. My family would go to vacation there often, so I've spent a lot of time in the Ozarks, a lot of time not catching a single thing in any of those lakes.
You scared them away.
Yep. Yep.
That sounds my luck here.
Yeah,
Oh,
I haven't caught an actual fish in I don't know how long.
Really?
Yeah. Well, no, I take that back.
She's judging you.
My father. So my dad and I didn't have the best luck growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's moved to Florida now. He's retired. And when I saw him out there, he's like, "We're going fishing, son." And he got us a guide for fish. So the guide can literally look in the water and say, "There's a fish there. Put your thing there." And
I got a fish finder on his boat and everything. Yeah.
His fish finder was his eyes.
Oh,
This guy
okay.
was amazing.
Yeah.
And so we did.
I've seen fish in the water here. I haven't been able to catch them.
we almost had that problem. We did catch them though, and brought them in, but it's not as It wasn't us outsmarting the fish. Well, maybe it was. We were smart enough to hire a guy who did the fish hire.
Yeah.
Nobody. They were defenseless. So does anybody else have any other recommendations around here? Stuff to do when it's hot and you're miserable. Places to go in the summer.
The Bell County Museum in Belton is open.
Okay.
As of today, when we're talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
They are requiring masks, obviously. Their 2 showrooms have a certain capacity limit, which they have signs outside the room saying, no more than X amount of people.
Sure.
And they don't charge to come in. They just accept donations if you feel so inclined to give to them. But right now, their permanent display is just kind of like a history of Bell County. It kind of talks about, just how Belton came to be and Temple and all that. And then they have a Fort Hood section, which I thought was
nice.
fun. And then in their temporary display room, they're showing photographs of a Salado native that she really only does black and white photography.
Mm-hmm.
She studied that, which isn't really my cup of tea just as a photographer, but her photographs were interesting to look at because it's a lot of local buildings, and I liked her object photography the best.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the actual objects on display next
Here
to the
is
photos.
the apple that she took a picture of. Here is the picture of the apple.
Well, she had there was a Knights Templar sword, and a really fancy old Bible, and her sister's custom made boots, and her Miss Belton buckle.
I gotta ask this question.
Yeah.
If you have the object in front of you,
Yeah.
why do you need to see a picture of the object?
Well, I feel like black and white photography for me, if you're going to take a picture of something black and white, the person or your object or the building or whatever needs to be able to speak for itself without color, which is very hard to do. So being able to see these boots, which are bright red, by the way, compared to their, contrasting black and white photo, I would have never known they were red, like that bright, vibrant red. So it's interesting to see the different kind of character, which is why I like the object photography so much, that the objects take on in black and white versus when you're looking at them in color.
You're able to see how creatively that person can capture light.
Yeah, so they're giving you a different take on something that you might have not have seen if you just saw the boots themselves.
Yeah, because, not to sound too artistic, but, obviously black and white images have more of, to me at least, a more dramatic, darker tones. And if someone walks in wearing those bright red boots, you don't automatically associate them with some dark, dramatic person. You think they're very outgoing and walk in the room saying, "Hi, here I am." So it was interesting to kind of see that contrast.
Oh, that's interesting. And that's their display that they have now.
Yes.
Very interesting. And, Salado itself has a museum. If you get out to Salado, it's a little bit like going back in time, a little bit like going to a antique mall. So it's a fun place to go.
Yeah, I like going to Salado.
Yeah.
You can be outside and there's less of a risk factor. And
bunch of different small town restaurants there. A lot of stuff to look and see.
All good local things.
Yeah, actually downtown Georgetown is very, very cool too.
Oh,
if you've ever walked around downtown, around the square in Georgetown.
I have, yeah.
Very
it's
cool.
nice there.
So, Fort Hood is lucky in its location because there's so much more here than meets the eye, and there's so many opportunities and stuff to explore, even when we've got a pandemic and oppressive heat. So get out there, take a look at what lies before you, enjoy what is available, and we'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
Hey golfers, are you looking for a new course to play? The Courses of Clear Creek is a 27-hole course with challenging greens located in the scenic rolling hills of Fort Hood. With a 300-yard driving range, 2 putting greens, and a 4-hole kids course, we're the premier golf course in Central Texas. Our pro shop is always stocked with the latest golfing equipment and name brand apparel, while our beautiful pavilion overlooking the course is a great place to enjoy a cold beverage. The Courses of Clear Creek, open to the public, offering annual, monthly, and summer membership packages. Give us a call today at 254-287-4130 or find us on the web at hood.armymwr.com.
Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast, saving you from coronavirus since February 20th, 2020.
Coming on strong on a Monday. I feel so low. Won't be long.
Okay, so a lot of different options.
Yeah.
What
nice.
You were talking to me during the break saying that you're trying to get away.
Yes. Need a break.
Where were you thinking? Any of the places we discussed, or maybe someplace off the grid? Secret?
I actually, so most of the places he mentioned, I've been to already.
Well, yeah.
Because I already enjoy hiking and kind of being in nature and, kind of getting that zen, nice, peaceful feeling.
Yeah.
And I've been having to do it more just because it's a low risk activity with the times it's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't decided where I'm going to go. I've contacted some friends that live around the area, a couple 100 miles or like 100 miles out or so. And but it's kind of awkward because they're like, oh, we don't want you to come in the house because we're nervous. So I'm like,
come on
yeah.
over. Don't breathe on us. Don't breathe on us.
Yes. So just trying to figure out the logistics of that has been a little complicated, and also it's kind of funny, like you kind of have to laugh at it, not that what's going on is funny, but just trying to adjust fire with everything.
No, it's that resiliency.
Yeah,
being able to move with the punches.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Well, wherever you choose to go,
yeah,
I hope you have a great time. Will we see you next? Will you be on the podcast next week?
Oh yeah, I'll be here.
Okay, so you'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be back.
You'll be back. Good. That's how organized we are.
Yeah.
You gonna be here next week?
Yeah. Let me send you my schedule.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Hey everybody! Thanks for sticking with us during this show.
Yes.
Our Daveless episode. Dave will be back next week.
Great.
And the whole crew will be here.
Yay! We haven't had a full reunion in a while.
No, it's been a bit.
It's been a minute.
But you know what we got for next week? We got a special thing.
Yeah, it's a little teaser.
We have our first general officer.
Oh.
That means they've got stars. They got stars.
I'm nervous now.
I know. Isn't that cool?
That
We're
is
hitting
cool.
the big time.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So tune in next week to see what shenanigans will happen with a general officer. Probably not much. Probably not. We'll be on our best behavior.
I was about to say, yeah, you're going to have to reel it in a little bit.
Absolutely. Hey, we're respectful. We can be respectful when we need to be.
Yeah.
So I was going to say something. I don't know why don't you see I'm falling apart. I am falling apart on the microphone. Why don't you see everyone out?
Great. All right. Well, everybody, please stay healthy. Follow COVID-19 social distancing guidelines, and just try to stay hydrated because it's getting real hot out there. And we'll see you next week.
That was a full-on safety brief.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
Oops. It's very Army of you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, everybody.
I sipped the Kool-Aid.
Stay safe. Don't do anything we would. See you guys.
Driving down the road again. Tar starts thinning and cracks crumble the gravel lines. Just on the travel though.